Egypt 4000 BC. Warriors, embalmers, and weapons manufacturers had special laws that do their jobs and prevent accidents, said measures we given by Pharaoh. Mesopotamia, 2000 BC. All the laws were given by the legal code created by King Hammurabi. This code is the oldest set of laws that has been found. Ancient Greece, 370 BC. Hippocrates speaks for the first time of lead poisoned as a disease suffered by mine workers. The miners were said to suffer from Saturnic colic. AD 70. Pliny describes a large number of diseases classified as slave disease when referring to manufacturing and mining workers. Flax chunks are recommended as respirators for mining, lead tetroxide, and red mercury sulfide refiners. AD 118, Galen and Celso, we speaks in these writings about disease due to occupational exposures. Middle Age Italy, 645. Rotary edicts are published which one of the first piece of legislation designed to protect construction workers from workplace accidents. This code set monetary rates to settle disputes between people. 1556. George Agriculture first evidence that the aspiration of some particles produced asthma and ulcerations in the lungs. At this time, in the Carpathian Mountains, women are said to marry up to 7 times for the short duration of their husband's life. 15,690. Paracelso, in his work entitled The Consumption and Other Diseases of the Miners, he describes several pneumocommuses that are a group of lung diseases caused by the inhalation of dust. 1700. Bernard Ramassi, in the first complete treatise on occupational disease, he called it the morbus artificum dianthropy. He emphasized the importance of different productive activities for the well-being of countries. Believed that the state had an obligation to promote and support productive activities that and in the term project workers.
1779. France. The Memoir of the French Academy of Medicine contains reference to the accident of stolen workers. Italy. Protection of pregnant women. Numerous studies of pregnancy appear and she is exempt from all work in the last trimester of pregnancy. Industrial Revolution 1760-1830. Europe. The introduction of the machine in the execution of the work is presented. In addition, the ordinary words is replaced by the mass production. On the other hand, there's on the problem its breakdown. On the families, since the men found themselves in the need, the mute to the fields, which brought about problems of alcoholism and prostitution. After the result of the book, the figure of public occupant is born. Occupational health services, attention to working conditions, and prevention of occupation as Christians will inaugurated. 1811. England. A protest is presented for infrahuman work in companies. This movement was called Ludista and opposed mass achievements and all technology in the Industrial Revolution and in the world. 1841. France. Appearance of the minimum, which determining compensation for injuries caused by mining machinery. The post of mining inspectors was also created and excluded women and children under 10 from working in mines. 1918. United States. The first school to grant an industrial 18 diploma appeared. 1919. Versailles. The International Labour Organization appears. There are currently 117 members. Countries. Pre-Hispanic era. Colombia. The indigenous people wanted the environment to provide them with food, stability and security, minimum achievements that they acquire based on a social organization, such as the system and free states. This organization had a radical stratification, and the work had merit and protection from the community. Colonial period, 1741. The Council of the Indies issued a royal certificate in which it was prohibited to work on Sundays and world period. It was established that cold weather Indians could not be forced to work in hot weather and vice versa.
1601. The obligation to cure Indians who were victims of accidents and disease at war was introduced. This obligation implied medical treatment. 1819. Simón Bolívar, in his speech at the Angostura Congress, pointed out, "The most perfect system of government is the one that produces the highest amount of happiness possible, the highest amount of social security, and the highest amount of political stability." This is the first record of social security. 1950. The first session of the joint ILO WHO Committee on Occupational Health was established, establishing in that session the operative definition of the term. 1968. Due largely to the desert in the Farmington coal mines, West Virginia, USA, where there were 78 deaths, the following year the federal law for safety and health in coal mines was approved. 1970. In the USA, the OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health or Health and Safety Law, becomes what many call it the law on safety with the broadest effects ever approved. 1970 and 2007, Social Security is created, thus obtaining a very general vision of the evolution and legislative development of occupational health.
Year 1904. Rafael Uribe Uribe proposed talk in Bogotá focus on the issue of workers' health. After, in the year 1910, he required compensation for workers victims of work accidents. In the year 1915, Law 57 new has the Uribe Law on occupational accidents and occupational diseases is created. Year 1918 is created Law 46 that dictates highly end health measures for employees and measures. After, in the year 1921, established Law 37, collective life insurance for employees. Years later, Law 10 is established where occupational disorders and employees benefits, vacation and unemployment contracts are regulated. Later, in the year 1955, labor legislation is established where work rights are discussed. In the year 1938, Law 96, creation of the entity new today has the Ministry of Social Protection. Law 44, creation of compulsory insurance and compensation for work accidents. Year 1944, Decree 2350 that promulgated the foundation of the substantive labor code and the obligation to protect work at work. In the year 1945, Law 6, where the Occupational Health legislation is established, which included the first law on occupational health standards. In the year 1950, the Substantive Labor Code is issued, with which multiple standards related to occupational such as working hours, compulsory rights and benefits.
In 1958, the National Committee for the Protection of Accidents changed its name to the Colombian Safari Council with headquarters in Bogotá. In 1964, the government relies on health regulation and the existence of 3 units dedicated to medicine and occupational hygiene. In 1979, Law 9 called the Labor Health Code in its Title 3 establishes those that preserve, conserve, and improve the health of people in their occupation. Issued by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, by which the basis for the administration and organization of occupational health in the country are determined. In 1984, Decree 614 gives the basis for the organization and administration of occupational health in the country. In 1986, Resolution 2013 establishes that COPASO must be formalized in companies with more than 10 employees, regardless of their activity. In 1989, Resolution 1016, issued by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security and the Ministry of Health, which establishes the organization, operation, from of occupational health programs to be developed by employers and developers in the country. In 1993, Law 100, which is the Social Security Law, issued by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, by which the comprehensive social security system is created, whose main object is to improve the quality of life in accordance with human dignity. And Law 100 avoid talking about occupational health and defining the three fields of social security, which are health, pension, and professional risks. In 1994, Decree 1295 talks about the administration of the general system professional risk, issued by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, which regulates membership and contribution to the general system of professional risks. The table of occupational disease is adopted, and in November 24, Resolution 3941 is created, which prohibits the practice of the pregnancy test as a prerequisite. In 2003, Decree 2800 establishes the affiliation to the general system of professional risks of independent workers. In 2006, Law 1010 speaks of workplace harassment and which measures are adopted to prevent, correct, and punish workplace harassment and other harassment in the framework of employment relationship. In 2007, Resolution 1401 regulates the investigation of incidents and accidents at work that correspond to the Ministry of Social Protection, establishes policies and prevention programs regarding professional risks. And Resolution 2346 establishes the regulation of occupational medical record. In 2008, guidelines for comprehensive care in occupational health are established, and Resolution 1956 establishes measures in relation to the consumption of cigarettes or tobacco. In 2012, in Law 1562 of July 11, the Congress of the Republic of Colombia and signed by the Deputy Minister of the Ministry of Finance and Public Credit, the Deputy Minister of the Social Protection, and the Minister of Labor modification on the laboratory risk system, and they dictate other dispositions in the matter of occupational health. And Resolution 14 and 9 establishes the separate regulation for the protection against caring at work at heights. In 2015, Decree 1072 establishes that it is a new occupational health and safety management system. The single regulatory decree of the labor sector is issued. The Ministry of Labor promotes policies and strategies for the generation of stable employment, labor formalization, the protection of the unemployed, and the training of workers, labor mobility, pension, and other benefits. In 2016, 602 cases of workers who lost their lives after a work accident were registered. 701,696 work accidents were reported in the country and recognized by the IRL. The highest accident rate in the construction sector with 21% or commerce with 9%. In 2017, in the first semester, with Ministry of Labor issued Resolution 1111, by which the minimum standards of the occupational health and safety management system were modified.